Glorious evening. Flagler baseball starts now. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the Peach Belt Conference Network, along with our sports information director, John Jordan, and Jordan Fauci. I'm Dave Wenda. Glad to have you with us for Game 2 of this series. Jordan, you were here last night, and it really was a story of the Georgia Southwestern starter having an outstanding game.
Yes, Jared Donaldson was nearly unhittable for the Saints, but Seth Wysocki on the other side didn't pitch a bad game, just a very costly balk that was called. Advanced runners to second and third. He had one out with runners on first and second. The balk killed him. Sacrifice fly drove in the only run of the game. But besides that, both starters were very good. But Donaldson was just nails for 9 innings straight.
And the Saints have their chances. Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, full count.
You have Tyler Keith up to bat, your DH. Really, really tough at-bat for him. He gets called out on the 8th pitch of the at-bat on a breaking ball. Close pitch, but you can't take it in that situation. But the Saints had their chances, drop a tough one, but look to bounce back today.
And for the Saints, they're going with a guy who does more relieving than starting, Gabriel Partridge, getting his 3rd start of the season. Have you had a chance to see him?
I have. He's done a lot of long work out of the pen. He's averaging around 4 innings per appearance. He usually comes out in long relief appearances. His last start against Lander last weekend, very solid. Only 5 hits allowed and 2 earned runs in, 6 innings of work? So he has a lively fastball, solid off-speed, good changeup. Just a right-handed guy who gets the ball over with some velocity. Look for him to try to pound inside, change up. Just location has been a struggle for him at times. See how he does today.
Leading off is the shortstop, Miles Hartsfield. And the first pitch is a ball. Partridge with a 4.23 ERA. He's 3-3 on the year. This is 11th appearance, and again, his 3rd game started. He's thrown 38 in the 3rd innings, given up 48 hits, 18 earned runs. Struck out 39 against just 6 walks, so pretty good control. I know he's able to locate that off-speed pitch for a strike, and that's kind of the key to his success.
That has been, and he pairs that with a lively fastball, not a flat fastball. Has some great tail to it, and he has a really good changeup as well. That, I'd say, is his best pitch. He has a solid little hybrid between a curveball and a slider, but the changeup is just great for him. If he can work that into the zone and get guys to roll over, ground balls, easy plays for the infield, that's his game.
Yeah, talking to Coach Barnett today about Partridge, he says he's not necessarily going to blow you away with the big fastball, a 90s type heater. He's going to, work more on location and set you up with those good off-speed pitches.
It's not the fastest fastball, but it does have great movement to it, and a great breaking ball there for the strikeout.
Well, a good start for Partridge as Hartsfield is retired, and there's one gone for Tyler Skelton, the 3rd baseman.
Third baseman, number 1. Tyler Skelton.
Skelton hitting .279 coming in. Has driven in 15 runs. Georgia Southwestern as a club hits just .237.
Should have been here during Ashton's predecessor.
Not great bats at all. They were putting together solid at-bats yesterday, and they just beat Flagler at their own game, manufacturing runs. Saints couldn't get anything get any runs on the board, but they had the chances to. Just a weird loss for the Saints. Usually they will eke out those close games, especially low-scoring close games. That's their game, is to manufacture runs. They just couldn't get anything across. But not having Ashton Thomas and Miles Colangelo, that's 2 big bats that the Saints missed.
Yeah, Thomas is back now from his 2-game suspension, although Miles Colangelo is out with a hernia, and he may be out indefinitely. They just do not have an estimated time of his return. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and those are 2 big bats who have left out of the lineup. Thomas is back tonight, playing left field and batting 4th.
Luckily for the Saints, John Fiorenza's picked up the slack. Reigning Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year, continued that this week. 2 hits last night. Just making.
Here's a little chopper to Ward at 3rd. And the third baseman makes the play. There are 2 outs.
Ward was fantastic last night with the glove as well. Made a huge diving stop with the runner at second last night. Dove down the line, a little hard hit ground ball down the line. Made a beautiful diving stop and got the throw over to first in time.
And he's also one of those Saints who've come around with the bat. It's nice to look up and see the stat sheet, and there are 4 Saints over 300 with Colangelo right behind at 290, and Ward is one of them at 306. He and Matthew Burke have really gotten it going in the last few weeks.
Burke was great last night as well. One of the few Saints to actually do some damage. Hit an absolute bomb, a warning track ball. Just didn't get enough underneath the ball enough. It was a line drive pretty much to the warning track. Loud out for Matthew Burke.
This is Anthony Angelino. He skies one to left center. Newland ranges over, makes the catch. 3 up and 3 down. We head to the bottom of the first. Yesterday at the Rays, we had that Cole Irvin. He's an Oregon kid. He went to the University of Oregon. Cole Irvin was the starter for the A's. He worked so quickly. It was wonderful. Just sped right through the game. It was great. Yeah. Yeah. Really? And what level is that? Single A? It's double A. Really? Oh, really? And welcome back. Ready for the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Trey Newland, Mason Gray, and John Fiorenza moving up to the third spot. And he deserves that kind of promotion in the lineup, if you can call it that.
Yeah, I was talking to John, the Medford, Mass native. I was interviewing for a profile piece I'm writing, and he's been crushing the ball as of late, but it's hard work that's paid off for him.
First up, though, is Newland, the center fielder. Newland's cooled off a little bit lately, hitting .265. Obviously a table setter, base stealer type guy, along with Mason Gray, who's in the on-deck circle. And this one fouled back.
There's just bad at-bats across the board for the Saints last night. Saints are at the best when they're working deep into the count and not swinging at bad pitches, looking for their pitch, and they just weren't doing that last night. Big reason why they couldn't push any runs across the board.
The starter for the Hurricanes is right-hander Nick McCollum, and this is his 11th start of the season, a 3-3 record, 3.36 earned run average. Here's his 2-1 pitch, and that is low, ball 3. McCollum has worked 59 innings, given up 52 hits, 27 runs, 22 of them earned, and he struck out 69 against just 19 walks. 69 strikeouts in 59 innings, and this one drifting into foul territory and out of play. So good pitching for Georgia Southwestern. We talk about their hitting woes as a club.
Their starters look intimidating on the stat sheet, and if Donaldson is any indication, they have a very solid rotation.
Swing and a miss, and Newland is gone on strikes. Well, speaking of pitching, if you wondered where is Gage Voorhees, he will get the start tomorrow. He has been sick. He's had strep throat. That's why he's missed his last couple of turns in the rotation. So they've kind of had to mix and match things. That's why you're seeing Gabriel Partridge tonight, and you saw Wysocki in the series opener last night. So Voorhees, the ace, gets the ball tomorrow in Game 3, and hopefully that will be a rubber match setup for the Saints. These teams are tied in the Peach Belt Conference, tied for 4th at 11-8. So whoever wins tonight has 4th place all by themselves. Here's the aforementioned Gray, shortstop, hitting .260. Dave Barnett calls Newland and Gray his rabbits. And he said his rabbits need to get on base. And once they do, they are obviously threats to steal.
Yeah, they're like some greyhounds on the bases. Really, as soon as they get on, it puts a lot of pressure on the starters, and that's the Saints need to work deep into counts and get runners on base. It's the name of the game, especially. Saints are very good at manufacturing runs. They're great at solid bunting team, and look at that. Something they didn't do much of last night. They worked to walk.
So Gray is aboard. He has stolen 19 bases and 22 attempts. And just to give Newland his due, he's stolen 16 and 17 attempts. So we'll see if the Saints get the running game going here with John Fiorenza, the very hot John Fiorenza, at the plate.
4 for 2 or 2 for 4 yesterday. 4 for 2 would have been a great day. 2 for 4 yesterday, but the reigning Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week, John Fiorenza.
1-0 pitch, chop foul. Not often you see a catcher hit in the 3 spot, but Dave Barnett wants to get him, and Matthew Burke, who's also moved up in the lineup, moved up from 9th to 7th. More opportunities, more potential at bats.
Burke came into yesterday hitting below 300, but a solid day, 2 for 4 as well, and bumps him over up above 300.
Fly ball to center. Should be easy for Hunter Foster. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Yeah, just to finish up on Fiorenza, what a week he had in being named PBC Player of the Week. .438 average in 4 games with a homer and 9 RBIs.
He leads the Saints now with home runs. That put him ahead of Jaden Ward and Luke Wellborn. Both had 3 apiece. That was his 4th home run of the year, John Fiorenza.
Go ahead. This is Ashton Thomas, back from the 2-game suspension, and they're really happy to have him back in the lineup, especially with the absence of Miles Colangelo. When you're talking about having your 3-4 hitters or your 4-5 hitters, however you set the lineup.
Well, we got no production from left field last night. Bryce Fitzgerald came in, played well defensively, just couldn't give him anything in the batter's box, but neither did the rest of the Saints lineup. Tough day just overall for the Saints with the bats.
1-1 the count to Thomas, who's hitting .306, tied for 2nd on the club. Chopper to 2nd. They'll flip to the pitcher, and the Saints are retired. So they have a base runner, but no damage done. Still no score as we head to the 2nd inning. I did them in Oregon a few times, but they're really, I mean, it's going to be expensive for them. Like 2 nights in a Miami hotel, they're paying me mileage, they're paying me time of travel, per diem. But their TNT, though, I mean, it's nothing. And I'll probably be like camera 14, like up in the rafters, just you shoot one coach, and the camera 15 shoots the other coach. I hope so, something like that. I don't care. I'll do it.
Get a nice paid vacation by
basically, yeah. And it'll be all set up when we get there, too, which is the best part. I'll have to tear it down, but it's really great. And welcome back. Top of the second. No score. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for the Hurricanes. Gregory Wozniak, Reed Ragsdale, and Garrett Bradley. First up, Wozniak, the DH. Good first pitch from Partridge.
When you die, we put your money in the grave. When you die, we put your money.
Quickly ahead 0-2.
Good breaking ball there from Partridge up in the zone. But when you're mixing up speeds, you can get guys to swing through those.
Wozniak hitting just .214. He does have 5 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Long run for Mason Gray. And this will fall into foul territory. So Wozniak stays alive.
Tried to double up on the breaking ball there. And Wozniak hit that one super, super high. Got to keep that down. Can't really get away with too many high breaking balls, especially at this level of baseball.
Here's the 0-2, and that's down. Blocked by Fiorenza. Wind blowing from left to right here at Drysdale Field. It's an overcast, cool evening, not very humid by Florida standards.
Yesterday was a sweatbox here. Humid as all heck.
I think we had a northeaster blow in, and there is strike 3. The second strikeout of the game registered by Partridge, and Wozniak is retired. It brings up Reed Ragsdale, the left fielder. Ragsdale hitting .256. Only one Hurricane is above the 300 mark. That's Angelino at 319. And Partridge pumps in a strike.
All right, Brad. Just because you think you can live 4 and 5.
I know I can't, okay? Stop rubbing in my face.
Saints 18-22 overall. They're 10-13 here at home. And 11-8 in the Peach Belt Conference. Good for a tie for 4th. 2-1 now the count. Georgia Southwestern 16-21 overall. Also 11-8 in the PBC. 2-1 pitch is low.
Saints coming into today have only won 2 in their last 10. Really scuffling. But a series win at Lander. Just need to keep the pressure going, keep some wins flowing in conference.
Yeah, at this point you start to look at the big picture. You start to look at the finish line of the regular season a bit. The conference tournament will be the top 8 teams and the top 4 teams. There's another strikeout.
Beautiful. That's painting the corners there. For a pair of shoes for Partridge, his first strikeout looking.
Garrett Bradley.
That brings up Garrett Bradley, the right fielder. Talking about the schedule, you want to finish in those top 4 spots because then you get to host a 3-game series in the conference tournament. And then the winners of those series will go to a 4-game double elimination tournament at the highest remaining seed.
Have you ever seen it?
Talking to Coach Barnett, he feels pretty confident in their prospects to host. He's looked at it. I mean, I know it's kind of a taboo to look ahead in your schedule and not just say we'll take them one game at a time, but if you look ahead at what Flagler has, you got 3 games on the road at Claflin, who has not won a conference game. They're terrible.
They've not won a game.
I think they've won a non-league game. I think they're like 2-22. I'll check that for you, but I
was checking yesterday. I saw 0-18.
0-18 in the conference.
In the conference?
Yeah, I think that's it. Let's see here if I can get this. Scroll down. Here's the 2-2 meanwhile. Yeah, Claflin is 2 and
3-20.
3-20 over. They won 3. I didn't even give them credit for the third one. Poor Claflin. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. Yeah, Claflin, you don't see Claflin playing in many of the other sports in the PBC. They don't play basketball. They don't play volleyball in the conference. I don't think they play soccer in the conference.
They do play baseball. Not very well, but they do play baseball.
Not very well. Claflin is kind of that, get you feeling better about yourself. And there is strike 3. Partridge strikes out the side. Bradley caught looking.
Absolute paint on the corners for Partridge there.
4 strikeouts for him already, and we head to the home half of the second.
Can't pile on Claflin too much. They'll take 2 or 3 from us next week.
Yeah, I know.
We'll come back looking
that'd
like
be
idiots.
terrible. Bottom of the second inning will be Jaden Ward, Luke Wellborn, and Matthew Burke due up for the Saints. Jaden Ward, the third baseman, hitting well as we talked about, 306 average.
My little log.
Fouled back, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Little homer action. Sorry, I was looking for Dire Straits on Spotify.
Here's the 1-2.
Settle for Thin Lizzy.
Already today, we're seeing much better at bats from the Saints. Taking pitches. Now, Donaldson yesterday was very, very accurate, keeping a lot of pitches in the zone. But
Pitch fouled off, or at least flown into right field. I thought it was more of a foul ball than it turned out to be. That was pretty close to being fair.
that would have been perfect for him, too. Definitely should have been getting 3 on that one. Or it falls just out of play. Tough one for the Saints.
Ward, 3 homers on the season, 19 runs batted in. Really solidified himself at third base. after platooning at the beginning of the year. Here's the 2-2. Foul tipped, and that caught the catcher, John Austin Sutton.
The man that Ward platooned with Von Druska is now moved to the bullpen. Saints dealing with some injuries out in the pen, and he's going two-way, now a two-way player for the Saints.
Strike 3 is dropped. They'll throw down and complete the strikeout. That brings up Luke Wellborn. Wellborn hitting .241. Does have 3 homers and 25 runs batted in.
Leading the team in RBIs, Dave. Leading the teams in RBIs. Moved down in the order just a tad with the emergence and the move up of Ward and Fiorenza.
I didn't realize that he was leading the team in runs batted in. Here's the 1-1. That's low. Again, no Miles Colangelo today for the Saints. Ground ball to short. Throw from behind the bag is in time.
McCollum there for a second. Looked like he was going to try and barehand that ball. Thought a bit wisely about that and yanked his hand back. Let the shortstop go for that one.
Absolutely. That brings up Matthew Burke, who's batted in the 9-hole most of the season, but he's hitting so well they'll move him up to the 7 spot.
He's piecing the ball yesterday, making solid contact. Pair of singles for him. And unfortunately had a ball barely fouled, just hit outside, maybe a foot outside of the line would have been extra paces for him. But in all 4 at-bats, he made solid contact. Looks to continue that today.
Two balls and a strike. Burke has started all 40 games for the Saints. He and Newland are the only ones that can say that. Hard to believe we played 40 games.
I know. Dave and head coach Dave Barnett still spry as ever, making plays out in the third base box.
He was quite the shortstop in his day. Hard hit right at the third baseman. Short hop by Skelton, and the throw is in time.
That's why they call it the hot corner, Dave. That one was roped over to him. One hop, flash the leather. 3 up, 3 down.
Say much. When I was doing it, I don't think I pronounced a single R in bigger, better, faster.
And welcome back. 7-8-9 for Georgia Southwestern. Hunter Foster, John Austin Sutton, and Matthew Mamatis, excuse me.
Solid glove for Mamatis yesterday.
Yeah. Partridge off to a good start. Faced the minimum so far. 4 strikeouts among those 6 outs.
Somalian. Imagine that. Somalian, Somalia. Is that what they're the best ones? Swan country. Somalia.
I'm the captain now.
They have a real problem with cats. Big lion.
Foster's favorite movie. They have a nice little write-up on him here. Favorite movie is Transformers.
Oh,
Big
interesting.
Michael Bay fan as he goes down on strikes.
So that's 4 straight strikeouts for Partridge. And the batter will be the catcher, John Austin Sutton.
Depends on the point. Stuff Fort Lauderdale or
Because we'd be having this much fun and like, hey, guys. How many timeouts? How many 30? You missed a point. That's media, right?
He's getting out ahead of every single batter thus far. It's the big reason why he's been pitching so well to start out.
And quickly ahead here, 0-2.
Gotta get the bat off your shoulder at some point for Sutton. 2 straight fastballs in the zone.
No, it's not in some way.
Hard hit to right field, and this will be the first hit of the game.
Guess he was sitting breaking ball there.
Yeah, it looked like he was waiting on that.
Yeah.
And just strokes it into right field. So the first base runner of the game for the Hurricanes, and that brings up Mamatis, Matthew Mamatis, the second baseman.
Homegrown product from McDonough, Georgia. McDonough, Georgia.
First pitch popped up and out of play.
Hey, Brad, you mind returning to work? Oh, now you want to work? Somalia? Just for the record, I do not care for the ball, so I'm just Yeah. You're just playing out. Your palate's just not mature enough for that.
Tried to check his swing, but he went.
Mamatis, a 4-year varsity starter in high school, holds the Ola High record for most consecutive starts at 125 starts in a row. A gamer.
I wonder if that's every game of his high school career.
Must be. 2 Sweet 16 appearances for him as well. An Elite 8 appearance. Loves the game of baseball.
Gone here on strikes. That's 6 strikeouts already for Partridge. There are 2 gone as we head back to the top of the order. And Miles Hartsfield.
That's what I remember his dad when he had Achilles heel problems.
Hartsfield likes to get on base. 440 on base percentage.
Struck out his first time.
Foul balls.
That this happened, I'd say something like, turn off foul balls first thing.
One ball and 1 strike.
That kid wouldn't hear me. He never heard you the first time.
It's really up on top of the plate. Thought that was a good fastball from Partridge. Back him off the plate a little, but Hartsfield stays strong.
And now that ball is low. 2 balls and a strike. Partridge trying to get out of the third here. Gave up his first hit to Sutton.
I just remember that from basketball this year. Cooper standing up.
Fly ball to right center. This could be trouble. This is going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Sutton is held up at third, and his coach, Josh McDonald, is not happy with him. McDonald was waving him home, and Sutton slammed on the brakes. It's a double for Hartsfield, and the Hurricanes have runners at second and third, but Coach McDonald is not happy.
Would have definitely been a close play at the plate. Got a catcher there, generally not a speed position. And when he threw on the brakes, Matthew Burke did have the ball. It would have been really close. And you have a guy in Skelton batting .279, second best average on the team. I really can't fault him there. We'll see if it pays off for the Hurricanes. Veteran move there from the young Partridge. Lit up back-to-back hits, ball in the gap. Take some time. You airmail the first one high out of the zone. Take some time there. Collect yourself. Get back onto the mound.
Another hard hit ball to left center, and this one is going to get down and score 2 runs as Sutton and Hartsfield come in on the double by Skelton, and it's 2-0 Georgia Southwestern.
Partridge might have to put the breaking ball in his back pocket for a second. All 3 of those hits were on breaking balls that he left up in the zone or in the middle of the zone. And all of them, the last 2 found gaps, which can't have that. And now you have the best hitter on the team in Angelino stepping up to the plate.
Angelino flew out to center his first time up.
Slugging percentage of nearly .500 for the Hurricanes first baseman.
Foul tipped into the mitt, strike 1.
Very New Jersey name, Anthony Angelino. Makes sense considering he's from Deptford, New Jersey.
Another hard hit ball, another base hit, and here comes the 3rd run of the game as Angelino gets it done with 2 outs, and it's now 3-0 Georgia Southwestern. That brings up Gregory Wozniak.
.214 on the year for Wozniak. He's their everyday catcher. Today, slide him over to the DH spot after he started yesterday. Caught all 9 innings of the game. Not the greatest numbers, but good, solid power numbers from Wozniak.
Struck out his first time up. And again, Partridge able to get ahead here, 0-1. I believe in Wozniak's first at bat, he was ahead 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Fly ball to right field. That is a long run for Dylan Garcia. And it's out of here. A home run from Gregory Wozniak. And it is all of a sudden 5-0 Hurricanes.
That's some serious opposite field power there. Gave that one a poke down the right field line. Has the wind going out in that direction, but still got it high enough in the air to let it carry over the wall. Tough start. Tough 5th, 3rd inning for Partridge.
Yeah, are you seeing anything different from Partridge?
No.
He was so solid through the first 2 and a third innings, and then all of a sudden the wheels have come off here.
You let up a single to a guy batting 189, and that just is it's really spiraled into tough last 5 batters for him.
Yeah, Sutton got that first single, and then
you got to call timeout here.
Here comes Jeff Pelkey. Gives us a chance to thank some of the supporters of Flagler Athletics. Applebee's, free queso and chips the same night after a Saints victory. Academy Bus, we know the way. Bailey Group, no matter where you want to go, we'll help you get there. Ameris Bank, savings for the expected or unexpected. And Atlantic Dodge, proud supporter of Flagler Athletics. Now, what do you think is going on with this conversation?
Just got to get him to get out of the inning. He has 2 outs. You need to give your guys in the bullpen some time to warm up. Just calm down. You just sent the guys out. Send some arms out to the bullpen. Just get out of the inning here. That's the big thing. You got 2 outs. You got 2 quick outs, too. And he was pitching so well up until that single from Sutton.
This one lined foul. So 2 balls and a strike is the count to Ragsdale, who struck out looking in the second inning. That one's low, ball 3. Partridge has not walked a batter. He's given up 5 hits in this inning, including the last 4 consecutive. Here's his 3-1. Chop back to Burke at second base, and the sure-handed Matthew Burke makes the play, but the Hurricanes get 5 runs on 5 hits, and they lead it 5-0.
Breaking ball up. That's what really killed him.
What's it?
He was leaving his breaking ball up in the zone.
Oh.
And he did that. You can get away with that sometimes, but he was just consistently not keeping it down. You're going to hang those. You're going to get a lot of fly balls, a lot of balls hit hard into the gap because it follows, especially with his curveball, it has a lot of top to bottom movement, and you're getting these guys coming through perfectly on their swing path, and drove a couple into the gap, and that was just hell of a piece of hitting on that opposite field home run. It's one of the first ones I've seen here.
Yeah.
That's serious power.
Yeah.
And welcome back. We're ready for the bottom of the third. All of a sudden, the Saints find themselves in a 5-0 hole. It will be Tyler Keith, Donovan Garcia, and Trey Newland due up for the Saints. First up, the DH Keith. Now, if you're McCullum, the pitcher, you're stake to this 5-0 lead. Are you feeling confident, or are you just trying to blank that out and pitch like it's a 0-0 game?
They definitely give you some confidence, and this is a huge inning, shutdown inning for McCollum. Usually you have that, you get that lead, you're pumped up with the boys on the bench, you come out and get a bit of velocity, a couple extra ticks of velocity on your fastball. That one, the home plate umpire gave him great call there. That seemed a bit off of the zone.
The 1-1 pitch. Our umpires today behind the plate is Terrell Poole. At first is Brett Bullard, and at third is Scott Harris.
Same last night as well. A wide zone, that outside pitch was being given all night. If it's going to be called a strike consistently, you got to adjust and cover that part of the plate. It is Umpire Appreciation Week as well.
Is it? Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. We had the announcement yesterday before the game.
So pop up to short left field, and the shortstop will take it. Thought you were pulling my leg for a second. That brings up Donovan Garcia, the right fielder.
Bit bigger of a crowd today on Friday night as well. Yesterday, a bit barren in the stands. A lot of Georgia Southwestern parents or fans made the trip down to beautiful St. Augustine
why
for Easter
wouldn't you?
weekend.
First pitch, high and tight to Garcia. Garcia hitting just 213. Driven in 14 runs. Doesn't get the everyday starts like he did at the beginning of the season or last season when he was first team all PBC.
Without Colangelo, though, he's going to take over that right field spot for quite some time.
And that's where he started the season. Of course, last year, the starting shortstop. Garcia with a remarkable freshman year. He led the team with a 361 average. Also best on the Saints with a 432 on base. Here's a little flare into right field, and a remarkable catch is made by the second baseman, Mamatas.
That was one heck of a catch. That's a really, really difficult play. And Mamatas made that one look a lot easier than it was, even though he had to go into the little fall at the end. That is such a tough ball to track over your shoulder like that. Top of the lineup back for the Saints now. Need to get something going in second at-bats. Second time you've seen the kid, McCollum, on the mound.
Here's Newland. First pitch, and that catches the upper part of the zone.
Huge banner to promote our Damon Dogs line.
It's not too late, fans. Don't forget next Tuesday night.
Reservations still available.
Just look for the white piece of paper on the bleacher.
1-1 pitch, hard hit ball to left center, but right at Foster, and the inning is over. The Saints go in order. Still 5-0 as we head to the fourth inning. All right, you want to do these innings? Back, and I'll toss it to you.
Where are they at in the order? Bradley, Foster, Sutton. All good?
Ready?
All right, yep.
And welcome back. Ready for the top of the fourth inning. It's a 5-0 lead for Georgia Southwestern. Here with the play-by-play is Jordan Fauci.
Garrett Bradley stepping up to the plate, batting .225 on the year. He was 0 for 1, caught with a strikeout earlier in his first at-bat. Partridge remains on the mound for the Saints. Hasn't pitched all too well. Came in cruising, tough third inning for him, but head coach Dave Barnett stuck with him, Dave.
Yeah, and you're starting to see some movement down in the Flagler bullpen, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of urgency down there to get anyone into the game quickly. They're just starting to stir, so you would think they may stay with Partridge at least for this inning and see if he can get things calmed back down to his first and second inning form.
2-0 pitch on the way from Partridge. Lined back to him on the ground. Quick throw over to first, and he retires the first batter he faces in the top of the fourth inning. Good to see him get an easy out to start off, but he was cruising all the way up until 2 outs in the last inning.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was at 6 strikeouts through the first, 2 1/3 innings, or 2 2/3 innings, and then those 4 consecutive hits capped by the home run by Wozniak, and all of a sudden it was 5-0. It happened in a blink.
Yeah, this is the center fielder Hunter Foster, the juniors, batting just at the Mendoza line, 200 on the year. He struck out as well in his first at bat. Breaking ball finds the zone after it was fouled off. Quick 0-2 count for the Hurricanes center fielder. Breaking ball swung on and missed in the dirt. Tag applied. 2 up, 2 down for the Canes as Partridge has bounced back a little here, Dave.
It looks like that breaking ball stayed down, and that's what you were talking about. He needed to kind of get back on track in terms of keeping the breaking ball down in the zone or even below the zone, and that one was right there, and he was able to get Foster to bite.
First pitch misses just outside. This is John Austin Sutton. Sutton was the guy who got the rally in the third going for the Hurricanes. As that pitch is fouled down the third base line and into the netting. Count will be even now at a ball and a strike. One-two pitch fouled away, or 1-1 pitch fouled away. Count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now only 53 plate appearances for Sutton coming into today. Not the everyday starter at catcher. That is Gregory Wozniak.
Yeah, but Sutton got a base hit, a run scored in his first at bat here tonight, so perhaps picks up a little confidence.
Yeah, especially batting below 189 as he swings through that one for strike 3. 3 up, 3 down as Gabriel Partridge bounces back in the top of the 4th inning. This is Saints Baseball on the Peach Belt Broadcasting Network.
Barnett's have a little meeting.
Yeah. Hopefully get the bats going. They're being held hitless through 3.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice that.
The only base runner today's been Gray. Bats have gone dormant the last, really. They put up 1 run against Riddle, put up no runs last night, and they put up no hits through 3.
That was after scoring 27 runs in a series against Atlanta.
Yep. Is that right? Okay, good information.
And we are back here for the bottom of the 4th. Gray, Fiorenza, Thomas due to bat. Had a meeting in the last in between innings. Coach Dave Barnett was talking to the guys. Bats have gone dormant as of late, Dave.
Yeah, it's after 27 runs in that series at Lander when they looked so good, things have really cooled off for the Saints.
They've put up 1 run in their last 21 innings of play, and they're being held hitless through 3 thus far as that first pitch misses high to the Saints shortstop Gray.
Yeah, scored 1 run against Embry-Riddle and none against Georgia Southwestern.
Ball's grounded over to third. Throw on to first. Will be in time to catch the speedy Gray. 1 up, 1 down for the Saints. Coming up to bat now is going to be John Fiorenza. Fiorenza 2 for 4 yesterday. The reigning Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year has been hitting the ball great thus far this season. Has moved up to the 3-hole for the Saints.
And yet still getting most of the starts defensively as a catcher. I mean, Tyler Keith is a solid defensive catcher too, but they really feel good about John behind the plate, the where he handles the staff, his ability to throw out would-be base stealers.
He's been fantastic as a beautiful breaking ball drops in for a strike to even up the count now at a 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Keith has hit well enough to stay in the lineup most days as the DH.
Yeah, it's a blessing for the Saints as that pitch is fouled over to the third base dugout. It's been a blessing for the Saints to have 2 guys, 2 veterans in the lineup.
Yeah, both seniors.
Payoff pitch from McCollum. Misses outside to even the count up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch is fouled down the first base line and off of the netting.
I wonder, but Blake's reaction is going to be Coop's not back next year.
43 pitches for McConnell as that pitch is fought off by Fiorenza as well. Pretty economical for the Hurricanes starter, who has been great thus far, not allowing any hits today, Dave.
Yeah, and that's kind of gone unsaid. It was almost like, quietly he's snuck through these 3 1/3 without allowing a hit. And it's starting to feel a little bit like last night.
Mm-hmm. We've seen really no offense from either team. Those 5 runs came and went in the third. But besides that, that was the only time there have been base runners besides the Mason Gray walk for the Saints. It's been very fast-paced of a game, but no real offense to show for it, especially on the Saints side.
Right.
Full count. Check swing, fouled off into the glove for strike 3. Another batter retired for Nick McCullum, the sophomore.
Yeah, last night it was Donaldson with the complete game shutout, allowing just 6 hits, no walks, striking out 10, and even though he got into a jam in the 9th, got out of it.
So that pitch is swung on and missed by Ashton Thomas. Thomas back in the lineup, batting .306, 0 for 1 on the day, as all of the Saints are.
Played like that when I was in college.
That pitch misses low and outside, even up the count now at a ball and a strike. Pitch is hammered down the line and into the parking lot. A lot of heat on that one. Lucky it didn't hit any of the parked cars over here at Drysdale Field. Sky looks pretty angry today, Dave.
It does. Gray skies overhead.
As that pitch is swung on and missed, making Thomas look foolish up there. 3 up, 3 down for the Saints is there. Still held hitless by Nick McCollum. Top of the 5th coming at you soon. This is Saints baseball. And we are back now for the top of the 5th inning. Mamatas, Hartsfield, and Skelton due to bat for the Hurricanes. Same part of the lineup that did a lot of damage back in the 3rd inning. Mamatas had the double for the Hurricanes. Partridge remains in the game for the Saints. Movement in the bullpen has quieted down, Dave.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any urgency to get Partridge out of there after he went 3 up, 3 down in the 4th.
So that ball is hammered down the line and into the opposing bullpen. No action as for the Hurricanes out there, as that ball was really crushed. Luckily for the Saints, that one goes foul to even up the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice breaking ball there from Partridge, as now the Hurricanes' second baseman falls behind the count. Ball and 2 strikes. Pitch just misses low. Even up the count now at 2-2. 8 strikeouts for Partridge.
Yeah, when he's been good, he's looked great. It's just at that one stretch where he gave up so many hard hit balls in a row.
That ball is hit into center. Newland tracking that one down, makes the catch in the right center gap. So much range from Trey Newland out there. Makes balls hit deep into the gap like that. Look like routine fly balls, Dave.
Yeah, Trey Newland, I mean, I think it's such a luxury when you have the speed of a guy like that. We had Jake Kaufman in that spot a year ago who had similar speed, but I don't think he had Newland speed or Newland range. And with guys like Ashton Thomas who aren't as fleet of foot, who aren't as solid defensively playing left field today, you like to have a guy like Newland who can kind of cover for your corner outfielders.
And he makes it look so easy. It's easy speed, as they say. Mm-hmm. Doesn't look like he's going that fast, but he covers so much ground as Hartsfield grounds that one up the middle. Nutmegs Gabriel Partridge. That one went right through the wickets on the mound, as that will get down for a single. 1-out single for the Hurricanes leadoff man. That is his 2nd hit of the game.
He actually struck out looking.
Ooh, that was Mamatas in his first at bat.
Yeah, that's his first hit.
Oh, that was
Yeah, it was Hartsfield who had the double.
Hartsfield had the double, yeah. Okay.
And here he comes.
This is Tyler Skelton up to bat now for the Hurricanes. Bit of a lead there from Hartsfield over at first, as that pitch buzzes the tower of Skelton for ball 1. That pitch drops in for a strike. Been an up and down performance for Partridge so far today. He's looked great for stretches. Let's see how he does with runners runners on base, as he seemed to struggle with runners on base today thus far. That one is popped into foul ground. Fiorenza calling for it and makes the catch for the 2nd out.
So good, and he did not know where that ball was for a beat or two while he was searching in the sky, and still able to track it down right in front of the Flagler dugout. It shows you that just the solid athletic ability that makes him such a good defender.
Fiorenza started his career as a walk-on to a JUCO school in Central Florida. Came over to Flagler. Great story is now he's getting pro looks as Anthony Angelino steps up for the Hurricanes with 2 outs and a runner on first.
All of a sudden everything clears.
Pitch is swung on and missed as Partridge gets ahead of what I'd say is the best bat in this lineup for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and he had the single, drove in a run back in that 3rd inning rally.
He was the guy who pushed across the run last night for the Hurricanes, as he fouls that one back to the backstop. Let's see what Partridge can do here. Up ahead in the count, 0-2. See if he goes to that breaking ball that has been up and down for him today. That pitch is lined into left field. Thomas ranges over and gets it on the bounce. That will drop in for a single. Runners at first and second for Wozniak now. Bit of a two-out rally brewing for the Hurricanes.
Now Partridge up to 78 pitches now. And again, starting to see some stirring in the Flagler bullpen, but nothing very urgent happening down there. You would think they'd like him to finish this fifth inning, if not go a little longer. Saints have been hit by some injuries in their bullpen.
Yeah, very thin bullpen for the Saints. Wozniak today, 1 for 2, knocked in 2 runs on that home run, that opposite field power. Dave, you've seen quite a few Flagler games in your time. Not a lot of guys going yard opposite field.
Not really. Occasionally they'll get it up in the wind there, and we see the wind blowing left to right. And if you can get a ball high enough, kind of in that jet stream, if you will, sometimes they will sail out of here. But it was an impressive shot, certainly.
That pitch from Partridge in the dirt to even up the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, talking to Coach Barnett earlier today, he was hoping Partridge could go 5 or 6 and then maybe turn it over to Ryan Airy to finish things out. And things haven't gone necessarily as planned, but he's an out away from getting through 5 full.
The pitch is hit a mile high. Ward tracking underneath it, makes the catch to retire the side. Bit of traffic on the base paths as the Hurricanes strand 2. This is Saints baseball, still down 5-0.
I will get upset. I will get upset immediately after that. One thing I miss is being in Boston, listening to sports radio up there, because they're already laying into it. I just hear it from my dad every single day. Felder and Matt's going crazy. I love it. The Shaws and Star Market, WEI, Red Sox, a radio network. I broadcast. I love Joe.
Ward, Wellborn, and Burke due to bat as we are back now for the bottom of the 5th inning. Saints still held hitless.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about Partridge's ups and downs, but I don't think we've given Nick McCullum enough credit. Throwing a no-hitter, I think he's only allowed 1 base runner, and that was Mason Gray, the second batter of the game, who walked.
Extremely efficient, throwing strikes and getting guys to hit the ball in positions to make his guys, or allow his guys to make plays, and they've done it to his credit. As Ward fouled that first pitch off for a strike. Looks like the catcher may have taken another ball off of himself here.
Yeah, it's been a tough kind of game for John Austin Sutton.
He's getting beaten up left and right behind the plate.
Yeah, he is.
So that ball is going to find a gap. We spoiled the no-hitter up in the booth for the first hit of the game. Jaden Ward Nice piece of opposite field hitting there, Dave.
Yeah, a beautiful inside-out swing, finding the hole on the right side, and no-hitter is done. And now you start to work on taking away that shutout and just chip away at that 5-0 lead. Still plenty of time for the Saints to battle back into this one.
Good opportunity as Luke Wellborn, the sophomore first baseman, steps up and watches a first pitch strike on the outer part of the plate. Bit of moan and groan from the fans here at Drysdale Field. Didn't agree with that call there, Dave.
Gray bluffing at first. Or Ward, excuse me. I was thinking of Mason Gray and his prolific steal numbers.
Get the free showtime.
Count will be even now at a ball and a strike.
So 3 weekends of showtime.
That ball is hit into the left field coming on, and that will drop in for a hit. Back-to-back singles for the Saints.
Yeah.
As they look to get something. They're getting something brewing here, trying to crawl back from a 5-0 deficit here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, just go station to station right now. String hits together. And again, you can't get it all back at once. There's no 5-run home run. Just chip away at it. And here comes Matthew Burke, who's been very hot of late.
Burke batting .302 on the year. 0 for 1 today. But Saints got runners in scoring position for the first time as they've strung together back-to-back singles. First pitch gets away from the catcher. Throw to second high, and tough break there for the Saints as Wellborn overslid the bag. Lost contact with it, and Mamata's heads-up play from the second baseman for the Hurricanes tags him out for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Wellborn essentially had it beat. I mean, he arrived just as the throw did, but the throw was high, and he got underneath it, but slid over the bag. And it's an unfortunate out for the Saints, although on the positive side, Ward moves up to third base.
One-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball high will miss. Hitters count here for the Saints second baseman. Gray, we've talked about all year, has been extremely consistent, Dave, just on the field as a defensive player, and then his bat has come around as of late as well.
Yeah, you love a guy like Matthew Burke who plays every game in the field, same position. He's so rock solid defensively. And, just it was a matter of time before he got it going with the bat because he's such a heady player. They love his approach at the plate.
Mature player as he watches a pitch that drops in for a strike. 3-1 count now to Burke.
Yeah, I think he was taking all the way there.
Yes.
3-0 count, you're down 5-0. You need base runners.
That pitch is hammered into left field for a single. 3 singles for the Saints. Scores the first run of the ball game. Score will be 5-1 now as Tyler Keith, the senior catcher, steps up with a runner on first.
Yeah, it's a good sign. 3 singles in a row, and then the unfortunate out at second base as Wellborn slid over the bag. But positives here, hits and now a run.
That pitch is hammered into center field, arranging back and making the catch is Hunter Foster. 2 outs now with the runner on first as Donovan Garcia is going to come up to the plate now for the Saints.
And you imagine Garcia, as much as anyone out here, wants to regain that form of last year when
yes.
he's, hitting over 360 for the year as a freshman, and things haven't gone as smoothly this year, but this would be a great time
for him to heat up. Especially with the loss of Miles Colangelo, no timetable set to return yet as a beauty of a breaking ball drops in for a strike.
I think it was that Lander that Colangelo felt something after the Friday game and went up to Coach Barnett before the Saturday game and said, I think I might have a hernia and I probably shouldn't be playing. And so he is not cleared for any baseball activities right now.
A pain in his left rib prompted that as Garcia falls behind 0-2. Pitch on the way from McCullum, swung on and fouled as Austin Sutton is being beat up behind the plate. That one caught him right in the forearm.
Yeah, and Terrell Poole gives him a moment. He'll go out and talk to the pitcher and hand the ball to him and gives Sutton a chance to just kind of regroup. But he has taken several foul balls off the body.
We'll take that time today to shout out the umpires, Terrell Poole, Brett Bullard, and Scott Harris. It is Umpire Appreciation Week here in the Peach Belt Conference. Ball hit into the gap. Could be extra bases for the Saints as Garcia is going to beat that throw to second. 2-out double for the Saints right fielder. We were talking about it. Good time for him to get hot. Hopefully he can carry that momentum as the top of the lineup comes back around for the Saints.
Yeah, fourth hit of the game, fourth hit of the inning, and Garcia was very aggressive, making that hard turn around first and thinking double all the way. And so now two Saints in scoring position and back to the top of the order in Newland.
Newland batting .265 coming into today, .360 on base percentage. As we were talking about earlier, him and Mason Gray are called the Rabbits for their base stealing prowess. They're just their speed on the base paths and in the field. It's been something that Dave Barnett has been very happy about at the top of his lineup.
Yeah, both newcomers, Newland a transfer and Gray a freshman. And they're among the conference leaders in stolen bases.
That pitch is swung on and missed, even up the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Neither hitting at a particularly high average. 265 for Newland, 260 for Gray. But their on-base percentage is not bad, 362, 335 respectively.
That pitch is fouled back to the backstop. 1-2 now to the Saints center fielder. Big part of the game here. If the Saints can manage to knock in these 2 runs and cut the lead down to only 3. Actually, hold on. Is my math wrong there? It's a liberal arts college, Flagler is. My math has not been great the last 2 days.
Yeah, and interesting here that the infield is playing back at normal depth. I mean, Newland maybe could even lay down a bunt here with his speed and beat it out.
If he can get it down, he definitely has the wheels to beat out a bunt for a single. We've seen it quite a few times thus far this season. 1-2 pitch on the way. And he is rung up on the outside corner. Saints get a run back on 4 hits, but strand 2 runners in scoring position as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Canes still lead 5-1. pull up his last appearance. I'm going to kick it over to you for that. And we are back now for the top of the 6th inning. It will be Ragsdale, Bradley, and Foster as the Saints have a new arm on the mound in Ryan Franklin, the freshman. This is his 7th appearance of the year. 6.32 ERA through 15 and 2/3 innings of work. How does last appearance go, Dave?
Well, it went okay. 2 innings work, a couple of hits. He did not allow a run. He did not walk anybody. Also did not strike out anybody. So a couple of hits allowed and did not figure in the decision.
Quick 2 pitches for Franklin as the count will now be 1-1 to Ragsdale. That closes the book on Gabriel Partridge, who goes 5 innings, allowing 5 earned runs on 7 hits. Count will now be 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And 8 strikeouts, no walks. So some positives there. Just that one bad inning in the 3rd where he gave up 5 hits, including a couple of doubles and a home run.
Bit of a disaster inning for Partridge there. But besides that, he had a solid outing as Franklin will now be ahead 1-2.
I can see it in your eyes.
Pitch is grounded over to Burke at second. Bit of a slide as he throws on to first for the first out of the inning. 1 up, 1 down. As Franklin retires the first batter he sees.
Yeah, a good start for Ryan. Big lefty from Lakeland, Florida, a freshman who in high school lettered in baseball and cross country, which is kind of an interesting combination. I mean, old school pitchers would say that you need to get your running in to have your legs strong, and obviously he took that to heart, spending the falls on the cross country team and springs on the baseball squad.
It'll be Garrett Bradley up to bat now. A lot of running post appearances for pitchers. One of the things I hated about being a pitcher only was the running I'd do after starts, as Franklin evens up the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike to the freshman right fielder Garrett Bradley.
A lot of new arms this year, and we talked about the changes, a whole new outfield for the Saints.
That ball is grounded foul, just foul, as Wellborn makes the play.
Yeah, Wellborn well positioned right there. He almost expected a pull shot from Bradley.
Well, in talking to John Fiorenza, the Saints have been experimenting with a lot more shifting, which has helped them in a lot of scenarios, but also hurt them with the shifts in the outfield. They go against the shift. A lot of singles turn into doubles as Franklin strikes out Bradley on 5 pitches.
Yeah, really good looking stuff here from Franklin early on, and you would expect that he might have the rest of this game, inning 6, 7, and 8, if he's up to it.
Hunter Foster stepping up to the plate now. The center fielder's batting .200 on the year coming into today, as he shows bunt, and that one go right back to Franklin. Throw on to first is a little high, but a great play from Luke Wellborn saves the potential error as the Hurricanes go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 6th inning. This is Saints baseball. And we are back now for the bottom of the 6th inning. Gray, Fiorenza, and Thomas set to bat for the Saints as they look to battle back here, chasing 4 runs.
Yeah, and I think they figured out some things in the 5th inning. I mean, they had 4 hits when they were being held hitless going into the inning. So getting good at bats, getting deep in counts.
As that first pitch is fouled back to the backstop. But yeah, good approaches from the Saints in the last inning they were up to bat. Gray shows bunt, beauty down the third baseline, and if that stays fair, which it will, wow, that is a picture-perfect bunt there, Dave.
I mean, it was perfect. Kudos to the grounds crew or whatever. I mean, that ball stayed right just inside the line by inches, and the third baseman, Skelton, was waiting for it to go foul, but perfect English or whatever it had on it by Mason Gray, and just what they needed, a leadoff batter aboard.
And Gray set to do provide some pressure as he's stolen 19 bags in 22 attempts. This is his second time on base for the Saints. We didn't get a stolen base attempt out of him his last appearance on the base paths. However, John Fiorenza up to bat now for Flagler. 362 on the year for the Saints catcher. As that ball is in the dirt, and Gray will make it to the bag easily with a beautiful pop-up slide.
Yeah, there's the speed you're talking about. And not necessarily a traditional type stolen base, but the ball scoots away just enough from the catcher Sutton, and Gray with the heads-up base running, and he's in scoring position.
Great heads-up base running from Gray. Count will be 1-1 to Fiorenza. That ball is hammered to center field. However, that's going to be caught, as that is just an unfortunate break, as Fiorenza really got onto that one.
He's still hit red hot. I mean, he's right on the baseball and just tattooed that one to center, but right at Foster. Getting back to Gray for a second, I want to mention he is the PBC leader in stolen bases with 19, and likely doesn't want to steal third here in this situation, but he and Trey Newland are 1-2 in the PBC with steals, 19 for Gray, 16 for Newland.
And that is Ashton Thomas, who grounds over to Mamata, takes it off the chest but stays with it for the second out. Gray will advance to third as the Saints can get a run across here with a base hit. However, that was a really hard hit ball by Thomas.
Yeah, I think they're just happy to have him back in the lineup, the free-swinging Thomas. He hits the ball hard. He can spray it to all fields. And here's Jaden Ward, who started that rally in the 5th and has scored the Saints' lone run.
Breaking ball buzzes the tower of Jaden Ward as he ducks out of the way of that one for ball 1.
Not sure if that slipped out of his hand or...
He definitely didn't want to locate it there. Definitely wouldn't want to locate it there, but could be some possible fatigue from McCollum, who's pitched, that is his 88th pitch of the day, as the count will be even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. We have some Saints women's lacrosse players in the stands here as they match up against Alabama Huntsville tomorrow at 1 p.m. As that ball is grounded over to third base, throw on to first will be in time to retire the side. Saints get 1 base runner and strand him at third, as Saints still trail by 4 going into the top of the 7th.
Nicely done. Very good. And welcome back. Top of the 7th inning, 5-1 Georgia Southwestern. John Austin Sutton leads things off for the Hurricanes. He's 1 for 2 today. A single, run scored, and a strikeout. That'd be Sutton, Mamadas, and Hartsfield. Dealing with Ryan Franklin on for a second inning of work.
I've liked what I've seen from Franklin thus far today. He's locating his pitches well. He's being smart with this lineup.
1-0 pitch, lined into center field. Newland went back on it initially, and he dropped it. He tried to make the diving attempt at it, and it popped out of his glove. Again, he hesitated for just a second, and then might have taken a step back before he charged in, and it's a hit.
Yeah, it's a tough one there. When the ball's hit on a line at you like that, it's really hard to read. You just trust your instincts, take a step back as always, and then generally the speed of Newland out in center, he gets to those balls. He did get to that ball, just a step slow, and the dive, making contact with the ground, is what knocked the ball out of his glove.
This is Matthew Mamadas, is 0 for 2. Strikeout looking and a fly out to center.
Mamadas only 5'8", but plays a great second base and has been solid thus far this series.
His team's battling for lone possession of 4th place. That's what this game will decide over the evening. Both tied at 11 and 8 in the conference. And here's a base hit from Mamadas to right. First to our board. I think that hit Sutton. So Sutton is not only taking a beating behind the plate, now he's being hit by baseballs when he's running the bases. And he's got to be like, maybe I don't want to be the starting catcher because I'm taking a lot of abuse.
Yeah, it's just the ball will pick a magnet. The ball will pick someone usually once a game, and they'll get beat up, and it's been Sutton today. As reminds me of that video from a few years ago, the volleyball player where he just kept getting hit in the face with the serves. The viral video from a few years ago. That's what Sutton's unfortunate day thus far today.
Back to the top of the order, and Miles Hartsfield, who's 2 for 3. Single, a double, and a run scored. Nobody out, 2 on here in the Georgia Southwestern 7th.
Yeah, Hartsfield's been great today.
Talked about his on-base skills, and he's certainly shown that off.
Coming in today, 440 on base. Also is tied for the lead in stolen bases for Georgia Southwestern with 3. Not a lot of
shows base and bunts it foul.
Not a lot of stolen bases for Southwestern on the year. Only 10 stolen bases in little over 16 attempts.
Oh, 0-1 the count, showing bunt again, and he gets one down. Fielded by Franklin, who turns and throws, and he's safe. Franklin was thinking about going to third. He thought better of it and turned and fired to first, but not in time.
Just the second of hesitation there. Fiorenza tried his best to direct the young freshman to throw to first immediately. However, tough break for the freshman as now Barnett's coming out. We're going to have a pitching change here.
And we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. Well, the new pitcher is interesting. Number 26, Brad Vondruska, who was platooning at third at the beginning of the year, but now he's going to pitch in relief in what Jordan rightfully calls a high-leverage situation. Bases loaded and nobody out in a 5-1 ball game. Vondruska making his third appearance. He's worked just 2 innings and given up 1 hit. He has not... 2 strikeouts. He has not walked anybody. So we'll see what Brad has here as a relief pitcher. Gabriel Partridge started things and went 5 innings, giving up all 5 runs on 7 hits. And then it was an inning plus for Ryan Franklin, who has not recorded an out here in the 7th. He allowed 3 hits, has struck out 1. He's responsible for all the base runners. And now Vondruska, the third pitcher of the game for the Saints. What's it like coming into a situation like this?
You just try to keep the ball on the ground. You're going to have the infield in. You'd love a strikeout. Strikeout or a soft, easy pop-up, something shallow is what you're looking for. Second would be weak contact on the ground, possibly a double play. You don't want any hard contact, but that's usually how you want it anyway. You just got to keep the ball down in the zone, keep it on the outside part of the plate, and hope for the best. It's a tough situation to come into, and it shows the trust that Coach Dave Barnett has in the two-way player, Vondruska, to come in this situation.
He'll deal with Tyler Skelton, who has a double, has driven in a couple. He's 1 for 3. Also scored a run back in that big 3rd inning when the Hurricanes got 5 runs.
Looked like a changeup from Vondruska for the first strike of the at-bat. It's the first time I've seen him personally pitch. But I was talking to Fiorenza about him, spoke highly of him on the mound as well as just overall at just an all-around baseball player, can do anything you ask, and we've seen it today.
And that was a good-looking breaking ball from Vondruska. He's ahead here 0-2 to Skelton. Buries one.
Bit of a waste pitch there. Just trying to get Skelton to go fishing, and when it's the luxury of having someone like John Fiorenza behind the plate to allow, you can really just bury your breaking balls, and you don't have to worry about it. Even a situation where you have a runner at third, you don't expect Fiorenza to let it go by him.
And there's the weak contact, but it goes for a base hit. Sutton scores. And everyone else goes station to station, so it's 6-1 Saints.
That is just terrible luck, as that was not hit hard at all. That's the one, even if you have Burke and Wellborn playing in their normal positioning, that's still going to get through. Just a tough overall break for the Saints. However, it only nets them 1 run. And
here comes Angelino, who's 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored.
This is a huge test here for Vondruska on the mound. This is by far their best hitter, with a slugging percentage nearing 500.
The infield remains in, looking to cut down the runner at the plate.
Just praying for it. Like, second game of the series, it's a Saturday.
Yeah. Happy Easter, everybody.
Fouled out of play. Vondruska, an outstanding hitter in junior college. He was a junior college All-American at Milwaukee Area Technical College. Here's his 1-1. And that one missed. 2 balls and a strike. Vondruska led the team with a .433 average.
Wow.
And a slugging percentage of .606. His on-base plus slugging, .936.
Quite a few JUCO products on the Saints. Oh, no.
This hopefully will drift foul. No.
Oh, that's a grand slam.
Wow, a grand slam home run from Anthony Angelino, and he's broken this one wide open. 10-1, Georgia Southwestern on another ball flown to right field, the second opposite field homer of the game for the Hurricanes, and this the big blow, a grand slam from Angelino.
That is just a real tough break. We were hoping that one would drift foul, but that's with the wind blowing out in that direction into right field. That's the second one. You don't know if it was going to get out, and that really is costly for the Saints. 10-1 now.
Did that hit the foul pole?
It did hit the foul pole.
So here's Wozniak, who had the other home run today for the Hurricanes back in the third inning. And the hits have come in bunches. In the third inning, it was 5 hits over 6 batters, and now 5 consecutive hits to open up this 7th inning.
Yeah, it's just been tough for the Saints pitchers as a whole. Hurricanes are doing a great job of just stringing hits together. That's something that the Saints have struggled to do as of late. It's timely hitting, and once you get a lineup that gets on a roll like that, even if they get into their weak spots, you see guys hitting ahead of you, and it just increases the confidence that you have. Even if you're not the best hitter statistically, offense comes in bunches generally in baseball.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Wozniak. And Georgia Southwestern, who came in not hitting very well, 237 as a club, have 12 hits on the day, 10 runs, and a lot of extra base hits, including the 2 homers. That one a foul tip, so Wozniak stays alive.
I've seen the Big 12 game end early because
Wozniak had that homer earlier in the day, actually caught up to Anthony Angelino for the lead in home runs, and Angelino apparently didn't like that one and decided to one-up him with a grand salami.
Fouled off. Good at bat from Wozniak, staying alive here, trying to keep the inning going. Already 5 runs across for the Hurricanes, who have 2 5 spots on the board.
Could not have gone any better.
Coach Jim was saying, he goes, this is a judge rule game. I'm not going to, you know it.
You know it.
Hard hit to left field. Thomas came in initially and then reaches out and grabs that for, believe it or not, the first out of the inning. It seems like this inning has gone on forever.
Yeah, that's what happens when you load the bases up without recording it out. It just puts everyone else in just such a difficult position because you have to bring the infield in first off, so you're not playing in your normal position for the guys in the infield. And then the guys out in the outfield are so caught up in trying to throw someone out at home, and then you have your pitcher who has all the pressure in the world on him to just try and keep the ball, especially in the ballpark, but just from being hit hard. Really tough situation for the Saints.
The batter's Reed Ragsdale, who's 0 for 3. One of 3 Hurricanes without a hit today. They're 5, 6, 7 hitters. None of them have recorded a hit, but otherwise it's been a hit parade here for the Hurricanes, who are looking to win the series with this. A very different looking game than yesterday, the 1-0 pitchers duel. Good fastball from Vondruska.
Bit of a choppy delivery. No windup for Vondruska as well. Just prefers to come out of the stretch regardless.
2-2 pitch, fouled off.
It's not rare to see a relief guy do that. Just always come from the stretch. I've always felt like I would get a bit more velocity on my pitches coming out of the windup. However, that was a beautiful breaking ball.
Strike 3 called.
Such a it's all mental, especially just pitching in general is extremely mental, and muscle memory is key. So a lot of relievers you'll see just exclusively operate out of the stretch.
This is Garrett Bradley, who is 0 for 3 as well. Has a couple of strikeouts today. One ball and 1 strike. Strike 2.
That's the song that's going to play up there. Yeah. I feel like every baseball game I go to, they play that song.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Vondruska trying to get out of the inning.
The soundtrack to hell is Sweet Caroline. What? Soundtrack to hell is Sweet
And he does. Strike 3 looking. So finally Vondruska settles down. But the Hurricanes push across 5 more runs, and they lead it 10-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th.
As soon as it came off the bat, I just said, just instinctively, oh no. I thought it was going to get fouled as well, and then I started just kind of tracking towards the foul hole. And yeah, that's a tough break. Vondruska only allowed 1 earned run though. 2 quarters of oh yeah, because they had the little group single.
Well, it's now 10-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Luke Wellborn, Matthew Burke, and Tyler Keith are scheduled.
McCollum's still in the game for the Hurricanes. Bats need to get hot for the Saints.
90 pitches only so far for McCollum. And trying to follow up the great pitching performance last night by Jared Donaldson, who threw a complete game shutout with 10 strikeouts.
Only 108 pitches for him, which is just a fantastic outing on the mound for the Hurricanes starter.
Yeah, in a way, the Hurricanes are doing what the Saints did early in the year when they were on their hot streak. Lots of good starting pitching with Gage Voorhees, Seth Wysocki typically, and then some timely hitting to boot. And now it looks like Georgia Southwestern using the Flagler playbook. Here's the 2-2, chopped to third. Skelton.
Oh.
That throw is in time.
Wow.
Very close play. Bang, bang at first.
That was definitely a bang-bang call. I'm surprised Luke Wellborn got down the base path that fast. Not going to slander the umps on during umpire appreciation week. This brings Matthew Burke up to the plate now.
Burke 1 for 2 with an RBI.
McCollum's done his job thus far today, just getting guys out.
That's ball one. That was close. Seems like the strike zone of Terrell Poole's been pretty consistent today.
It's had its moments. There have been some calls that are a bit on the fringes of being solid, but overall, yeah, he's been consistent.
Consistent for both teams.
Consistent for both teams.
He may have missed one here or there.
But it's tough to be perfect behind the plate, so consistency is really all you can ask for. And it definitely hasn't an outcome in this game. 10-1. Can't really get all too mad.
Pop down the right field line. Diving attempt by Bradley. But Burke stays alive on the foul ball.
Dangerous dive there.
Yeah, very dangerous for a foul ball with nobody on base. You want to give your full effort, but you don't want to necessarily injure yourself unnecessarily.
He stopped right at the fence, though, so held his slide up as well as he could. Didn't go careening into that foul fence along the bullpen here at Drysdale Field.
Here's the 2-2 to Burke. Swing and a miss, and there are two gone here in the Flagler seventh. Brings up Tyler Keith. Excuse me.
Oh, my mistake there, Dave. Sixth strikeout of the game for McCollum. Saints just haven't looked great with the bats in their hand. They had that one inning where they strung together some hits, but besides that, just hasn't been great.
Keith is 0 for 2. Pop out and a fly out. He was at the plate with the bases loaded. Saints down 1-0 in the bottom of the ninth last night when he took a strike three called. Hard hit ball to right, but chasing it down is Bradley, and the Saints go in order in the seventh. Still 10-1. I don't know if that's every inning, if that's happened, or...
They have anyone going in the 10?
Yep.
Okay.
Looks like just one guy.
Yeah, and they've gotten great length out of their starters.
Say again?
They've gotten great length out of their starters.
Yeah.
Really. They didn't have to use anyone yesterday. And then, 35 on the mound for the Suns. Legion baseball. He's a Legion All-Star. No, it's not, but run to a benches clearing brawl in Legion ball.
Fourth pitcher of the game for the Saints is Anthony Nofi. He's a freshman from Hanover, Massachusetts. 5'9", 170 left-hander. Nofi making his 16th appearance, which leads the club. He's 2-2 with a 5.24 earned run average. Has a couple of saves on the year. He's worked 22 1/3 innings, given up 16 hits, 16 runs. walked 18 and struck out 26. So walks have been an issue. And he'll deal with Hunter Foster first.
Have the Massachusetts connection between Nofi and Fiorenza behind the plate. Bit wild to start his appearance. 2 balls that weren't particularly close to the zone.
Thanks, Ryan.
2-0 the count to Foster, who's 0 for 3.
A little bit of a get-me-over changeup there. It's fouled into the dirt. Last appearance for Nofi went 1 1/3 innings with a walk and a strikeout. No runs allowed.
2-1 stays up and out of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Give me one reason to stay here. Now turn right.
Ground ball to third. And it's a foul ball. I think it got his left foot.
That one really had some, must have been fouled off pretty hard
Yeah,
into his
had
foot to
some
get all the way
strange
down
English on
to,
it.
got all the way down to third.
So again, Terrell Poole looking out for the players, and he's
All smiles behind
checking
the
on
plate.
Foster, making sure he's good to continue. And head coach Josh McDonald also checking in on a center fielder.
Sutton might be a little happy it wasn't him this time.
Yeah, I'm Sutton's in the dugout. If he takes one in the dugout, he knows he's cursed. Nice diving stop by Ward. Strong throw. A highlight reel play from Jaden Ward at third base.
He's just shown out with the glove at the hot corner thus far this year. In this series especially, this is his second highlight reel diving play down the line at the hot corner.
And that was a bit of an issue for Ward earlier in his Saints career. Consistency, both defensively and offensively, but he's really settled in on both accounts.
He's always been able to make the flashy play. It's just been the consistency on the routine plays that sometimes gets him, but he's been above average at third.
This is Sutton. And off the first baseman's glove and into right field. Hard hit line drive. And that's the third hit of the day for John Austin Sutton, who suffered with some balls catching him either behind the plate or when he was running the bases, but he'll probably take the bruises for 3 hits. I mean, probably a bruise a hit.
Baseball gods giveth and they taketh away.
Yes.
As he's been beat up, but he's been making great contact with the ball, and it's paid off for him.
This is Mamadas, who's 1 for 3. Singled and scored in that big 5-run 7th. Fouled out of play. Still have a 10-run rule in conference play, right? 0-2 the count to Mamadas.
Nice location there on the breaking ball from Nofi. Just a great overall defensive swing from Mamadas to foul that one off, because that was just dropped into the zone beautifully.
I'll check on the runner Sutton. Does have a couple of stolen bases this year.
That's awesome, though.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
Ground ball to first, to second for 1. The relay back not in time as Nofi goes to his knees. The keep that one on the diamond. It's a
Worried
fielder's
about
choice.
Worried about the ankle there for Nofi. Coming into the bag, he took it with his right foot. Generally, you try and take that with the left foot as a left-handed pitcher, especially. Glad he's okay, because that fall looked a little scary there.
Yeah, it was a little awkward there at first base. Back to the top of the order, and Miles Hartsfield, who has 3 hits today, including a double and a couple of runs scored. Bunted his way on last time. That was that big 7th inning. He was the 3rd straight Hurricane to reach. That one over his head.
That one must have slipped out of the hands of Nofi.
Have to give them balls.
Gotta have that one if you're Nofi. Nice front door breaking ball. Just misses the zone.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
I was going to do that for one of the double headers, but she split. I was going to put a banana split on her desk.
And the count runs full. These teams play again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Looks like Georgia Southwestern will likely win the series with the win tonight, and they'll be in 4th place all by themselves in the PBC. The runner goes with 2 outs and they count full, and it's a walk, so there are runners at 1st and 2nd now, and it's Tyler Skelton coming up.
Saints need to limit the damage here. We do have the 10-run rule in conference play.
Right.
That could come into effect here if Skelton manages to drive in some runs here, even just get on base with 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
Lays off the first pitch. Skelton 2 for 4 today. A single, a double, 3 runs batted in, and 2 runs scored. Filling up the stat sheet. Guys at the top of the order have hit the cover off the ball for the Hurricanes. This is a ground ball to Gray, goes the short way to 2nd, and the inning is over. The slide took out Burke, and Burke will step right over Hartsfield.
And there's some chirping back and forth.
And now we're starting to see the umpires get involved and the coaches and separating the players. If anyone was at fault there, and not to be a homer, it was Hartsfield.
Yeah, you can't do
hard
that.
slide on a play you're clearly out on.
Yeah, that's Bush League right there, and I can see why Burke would do that. Burke's been beaten up in the last couple of games, and especially coming off that Lander series where he was slid into pretty hard in that series. There was some tempers flared in that series as well. So looks like we're getting warnings on both sides from the umpire crew here. Would hate to see, it's always in the games that aren't as closely as competitive that you see the tempers seem to flare. Got both managers coming out.
Yeah, we'll keep it
as
right
well.
here and just watch this, what happens here, as Josh McDonald and Dave Barnett both come out and talk to the umpires.
You could hear it sounded like more of a sounded like a coach's voice coming from the Hurricanes dugout after Burke stepped over the runner at 2nd. Just a overall weird situation here.
We'll step aside for just a moment, be back. Looks like there's a new pitcher for the Hurricanes. Interesting. I wonder if he's related. Is Wainwright's from Georgia? Yep.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it says here that he is, but
Does it say his favorite athlete?
oh, that's a good one. Carl Rose.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Probably not.
assume,
You'd think it'd be
yeah.
his brother, right, or his cousin, or his third cousin, or his brother-in-law. Not his stats. No way. And welcome back. Short break. Aaron Wainwright is the new pitcher, and talk about Nick McCullum. I mean, he really. I mean, there's a lot of runs scored, a lot of extra base hits for the Hurricanes, but he really set the tone for them.
Yeah, it's been back-to-back days. Great starts from the Hurricane starters. A lot of length, and you'll love to see that, honestly, as a team, not having to really go deep into the bullpen, saving those arms for big situations like this. And now you have Wainwright coming into the game. Not going to get a save situation, obviously, with the score, but it allows you to get a younger guy into the game with not a lot of pressure.
Facing Donovan Garcia. This is the 5th appearance for Wainwright. He has a ungodly 12.71 earned run average. He's worked just 5 2/3 innings and given up 9 runs.
That's going to get in for a single there. Funky, very over-the-top delivery from Wainwright. A bit of late action to his fastball, but Garcia, if there's going to be a bright spot from the game, having Garcia get the bat going just a bit would be huge for the Saints. He's due at some point to... He's too good of a hitter to be batting as low as he is on the year.
Yeah, he has a couple hits today. A double to go with that single. And back to the top of the order in Newland, who's looking for his first hit of the evening.
There's a big screw loose on the steps. Someone can try and get hurt. I told him it's Patty already. I'm like, well, great for you to tell her. Like,
Virginia.
so I said, okay, well, take care of it. I'm walking back up the view. Then Patty goes, and then she started telling me, there's a screw. I got it, Patty. She told me.
Garcia, no slouch either on the base paths. Hasn't been on quite a lot. 4 for 6 on the year with stolen bases, but he has the speed to be a base stealer.
Yeah, it's interesting having him in the 9-hole and then Newland and Gray coming up behind him. A big hill to climb here for the Saints, down by 9 in the 8th inning, but you see the strategy that Dave Barnett laid out when he made up the lineup card, having speed at the 9-1-2 spots. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball, slow roller to short. Only play is to first, and Newland beat it out. There's that speed.
Yep, that's just what the doctor ordered. Even if the Saints can't crawl all the way back in this game, he'd love to put up some runs just for confidence sake to go into tomorrow with a bit more confidence in the bats. The Saints are slumping just as a team right now. You have some bright spots here and there, but as a team, they're not really stringing hits together. And when they are, it's been unfortunate. We've seen a bit of bad luck here, some bad at-bats there, and it's just turned around. The Saints just haven't been able to put up quite a lot of runs. But they have a great opportunity with runners on first and second now.
Right. And remember, tomorrow, Gage Voorhees, the ace, is back from an illness, and he has that pristine 2.96 ERA. So your ace on the hill to try to be a stopper.
You got to have the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can't drop 3 straight here, and that dropped them down to 5th place.
At least, depending on
some other results across the PBC. You got to have that game tomorrow. You have your ace on the mound, and this game still you put some hits together, you get some runs on the board. We've seen that runs have come in bunches thus far today.
Yeah,
it's not out of the realm of possibilities. The Saints put together a huge inning here with a guy who hasn't pitched well thus far in Wainwright.
Right, and you wonder if they're trying to kind of hide Wainwright and just get a cheap inning or two to preserve their better relief pitchers. with this 10-1 lead, but that kind of thing can backfire.
Yeah.
If the Saints go up and get good at bats, and again, you like to say chip away at it, you really need to kind of
hammer away
at it down 9 runs with just 2 innings remaining.
You don't say that.
But we're getting into the middle part of the order here with Gray, Garcia, and Thomas. Just can't afford a double play. Double play would be a killer here.
But laying down by Gray, and he'll beat this one out easily. So some small ball here for the Saints.
And now you got John Fiorenza coming up to the plate. Just the guy you need, just what the doctor ordered for the Saints. Just all around a great baseball player.
Bases are loaded. Fiorenza looking for his first hit today. So the infield at double play depth, they'll concede a run here for an out.
You know, be so funny. You got like.
If you're Fiorenza, you got to be thinking that Wainwright's going to try and keep the ball away, just hoping that you roll over. Going to obviously look for something middle in to hammer, but if it gets late in the count, you got to just go the other way and try and get a base hit here. Nice block there from Skelton. Was that Skelton? No, that's Sutton.
Right.
Sutton.
They were like, we didn't get those lights on. Or then they were complaining somebody was talking to them. So I was like, gosh, like they would not put the ball in play for a bad left. Like, gosh, really?
Chopper to third. The throw will go to second, and the out is recorded there, and a run comes in to score, so it's 10-2.
See, that's a proper slide to break up a double play. A hard slide, but not directly going at the runner. Also, not a great throw from third base from for the Hurricanes. But Fiorenza legs that one out, limits the damage there on some quality base running from Mason Gray.
Here comes Ashton Thomas, who's 0 for 3 today. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout.
Thomas still without a home run on the year.
It's amazing.
Yeah, doesn't really make any sense.
He's a big, strong kid, free swinger.
Hits the ball hard, too.
Yes, lots of line drive. He doesn't necessarily get the ball in the air where it can, get some benefit from the wind pushing it out. But I am shocked that he has not had a home run this year.
If there's going to be a day right now, just how balls have carried out to right field, as he takes a huge hack at that one. If there's gonna be a time for a home run, it would be right now with just how the ball's carried out to right.
I agree. The wind has settled down a bit. It's not blowing as hard as it was for those 2 Hurricane home runs that went out to right. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Slices it the other way, and the catch is made. Tagging is Newland, and he'll score, and it's 10-3.
This is just where the game has differed. It's a symbolism for the rest of the series, just how it's gone. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but the Hurricanes have been able to when they've had moments with runners on base, they've been able to get the ball in play and get hits, not productive outs, which the Saints will take in a game that's close. But here you need timely hitting, not just timely not manufactured runs. You need timely hitting.
This is Jaden Ward, who's 1 for 3. And Ward quickly behind 0-2.
Since when do you not allow doggies? I said, all of them. Like, what do you mean? We saw puppies. I said, well, we asked if it's a service animal. You can't ask to see the paperwork. I mean, but if it gets out of control, we can't ask the dog to leave.
They are concerned. The dog walks into the park.
It's not, and it's not owner's choice, okay?
Dog goes out in the front of it. I like the silly things on it.
Better you than me. I'm gonna ask the stupid question next after we just let you know, and everyone's gonna hate me.
That pitch is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Ward.
2s across the board here.
10-3 game.
There's the can of worms.
Better call 911.
Wainwright, if that's a familiar name, obviously Adam Wainwright, the outstanding pitcher for the Cardinals, is a Georgia native. You wonder if Aaron might be related. There's nothing mentioning that in his bio on the team website. You'd think they would mention that when you have a
I feel like that would
borderline
be
Hall of
something you would,
Famer in your family.
Definitely be something you'd mention.
Runner goes with the count full. He doesn't pitch like Adam Wainwright, or his numbers at least don't back that up this year.
Not really any similarities in the motion either. His favorite TV show is Criminal Minds, Aaron Wainwright.
Good to know. Swing and a miss. They'll throw down to first to complete the strikeout. The Saints get a couple runs but continue to trail it. The score 10-3. And welcome back. Top of the 9th inning, 10-3, Georgia Southwestern. Nofi continues on the hill for the Saints. This is Anthony Angelino, who had the grand slam in the 7th.
What did Skelton do last Saturday?
Skelton got on my Phil's choice. They had a 6-4 on Hartsfield.
1-1 pitch, grounded right back to Nofi, who will jog it over and step on first himself. The old one unassisted.
Why though?
I don't
know. That's the question.
Maybe you need to stretch his legs.
I guess so. He's getting some of his post-game running in during the game, but it was close. Like, it wasn't like Angelino was dogging it down the line. He had to really get on his horse to get the out there.
This is Wozniak, who had the 2-run home run back in the 3rd that really got things going for the Hurricanes. First pitch swinging, high fly ball drifting back is Garcia. And he twists and make the catch just short of the warning track.
Yeah, that shows the wind, which is picked right back up. Just seems like for Wozniak and Angelino, we've gotten some great gusts out to right field, but that looked like a routine pop or fly ball, but it was hit so high and the wind started gusting that it looked a little awkward there for Garcia out and right.
This is Reed Ragsdale. Big cut and a miss. Ragsdale's 0 for 4. 2 ground outs to second, 2 strikeouts looking. The 0-1 stays inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Can you tell if that's a new catcher down there? Or?
The 2-1 grounded foul.
Yeah.
I think that's John.
That's the.
I think so.
No, I can't.
It's definitely a single
We got
digit.
Tyler Keith hitting, so it's not like we're going to change the catcher.
It's definitely a single digit.
Yeah.
And Griffin was catching in between innings.
No, that's just a one.
I don't know how I paid attention to notice that. But
So Ragsdale's aboard with the walk. And the batter will be Garrett Bradley.
right fielder number 18.
That's a tough one there for Nofi on the mound. You had him in the palm of his hand and just wasted a few pitches
For the first baseman,
Yeah.
for the walk. He struggled with walks generally in his career thus far at Flagler.
There's a ground ball, and it's through for a hit. Ragsdale makes the turn and goes to third. Burke did everything he could to try to keep it on the infield, but a 2-out hit, and now there are runners at the corners. And the batter is Foster, or he's due up.
Bradley took a little bit of a stumble there coming around first, but that's the shift. You had Burke playing very close to Wellborn at first, and when it's not pulled that hard towards the line, that's usually, if he's playing his normal position, that's going to be a routine ground ball.
That ball nearly hit the runner at third.
That was an athletic move.
Yeah, athletic just to get out of the way, to dodge it. Wow.
Yeah, that was hammered down the line. He looked like a ninja jumping and flipping over.
Ragsdale showing some deft reflexes. Oh, the Hurricanes still swinging the bat well here in the ninth with the 7-run lead.
Not even that big of a disparity in hits. Saints have just, on 8 hits, you push across 3 runs. The Hurricanes have benefited from the long ball and just extra base hits. It's been a lot of singles for the Saints.
That one blocked. I think we might have a new catcher. We're not sure. Still Fiorenza? Okay. Nofi, the 4th pitcher of the game for the Saints. Gabriel Partridge started, went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs. Ryan Franklin came in. He gave up 3 runs. And Vondruska gave up 2 runs. Brad Vondruska for Nofi entered. He's given up a couple of hits, but is not allowed a run. Trying to keep it that way here with 2 outs in the ninth.
There's so many other things to do in Tampa.
And I think that hit him. So the bases are loaded now.
2 walks through 1 2/3 innings of work for Nofi. No strikeouts, and he has that hit batter. Control's been an issue with him, and it's going continuing here.
Yeah, it looks like the Saints are going to stick with him. No real action in the bullpen that I can see. And the batter is John Austin Sutton, who's had himself a good game. 3 for 4, couple of runs scored.
Came into today batting below the Mendoza line at 189. But
I should get him up over 200.
it should, yeah. Only 53 at bats coming into today. So that definitely should get him over 2.
First pitch is high.
Something about Nofi just looks off. Just control-wise here. He hasn't really been able to locate his breaking ball with any real consistency. And the fastball has...
That one fouled back up over the press box here.
Thought I was going to make a play for a second. I was tracking right towards our open window here at Drysdale Field.
Two and one.
Pretty much do what you want.
He thinks you're lazy. He says you don't play defense.
You only try hard in the play.
If my math is right, Sutton going into this at bat hitting now 232. A bump up of what, 43 points?
It's what limited at bats. He's put it all together today.
Yeah.
It's another long count for Nofi. The last 3 at bats have gone 7+ pitches.
Swing and a miss, and the inning comes to an end. No runs, 10-3 as we head to the last of the 9th.
It didn't look like him at first, but then once he started catching the same mannerisms, so, and also just like how he blocks everything. He hasn't. No one else really has the same style as him. I don't think there's another catcher with. That's the only way. Only other number that could have been. Yeah, our single digits with Garcia, both Garcias. It wasn't Griffin. And then it's not going to be Burke. It's not going to be Boyd. It's not going to be Phillips. So, yeah, no, that had to be right. Reese Jackawalk. Jackawalk?
I think it's Jacobiak.
Jacobiak?
Yeah. I think they put that in our pronunciation guide. Yeah.
Not a great ERA for him.
No.
All right, so let's see if Georgia College is playing today. No, this is okay. Yeah, the Saints could drop. Georgia College has a 3-game series with Claflin. Claflin. So.
They have it coming up still?
What's today? The 15th. So they had a doubleheader today. Let me check the.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Georgia College, who
Georgia
is
College.
a game behind the Saints right now.
Coming back. New pitcher for the Hurricanes is number 10, Reese Jacobiak, who hasn't pitched much. This is his 4th appearance. 11.57 earned run average. He is 0 for 1 on the season. In fact, Jacobiak has only pitched 2 1/3 innings. Dealing first with Luke Wellborn, who's 1 for 3.
I'm definitely going to that first toe 40 feet side.
So Jordan kind of doing the math on some of the standings here. As we'll keep an eye on that as we go forward through the season, as it's really beginning to wind down.
Yeah, so
game 41 for the Saints.
The Saints lose this, they will drop down to 6th place. Georgia College winning 2 games against Claflin. And so that brings their conference record to 12-8. So they will be tied with Georgia Southwestern for the 4th spot in the in Peach Belt Conference. Flagler dropping all the way down to 6.
Yeah, so a meeting at the mound here after Wellborn works the walk. Yeah, talking to coach this morning, and they do have the tiebreaker with North Georgia and Young Harris, but you're looking at Georgia College.
Yes.
Who I think, did they sweep the Saints, if I remember correctly?
Let me get back to you on that one.
Okay.
They did. They did.
Yeah, so North Georgia has Georgia College has the tiebreaker, so you're right. Flagler would drop from a tie for 4th into 6th place today. And I think that ball hit Burke. So the first 2 Saints are aboard here in the 9th. So Jacoviak struggling early on.
Well, I think that one caught
the home plate umpire Poole.
What a terrible thing to happen during Umpire Appreciation Week.
I know, that's not very appreciative. Gives us a chance to thank some of the sponsors of Flagler Athletics, including Vested Metals. We're a customer-centric and solution-based metal supplier. UBS Financial, pursue what matters most to you for today, tomorrow, and generations to come. Sniffen and Spellman, PA, a full-service law firm representing clients statewide. Race Tire and Service for all your heavy-duty and commercial vehicle needs. PIP Printing, achieve your marketing goal. Pink Stork, the wellness brand for women. And 123 Burger House, Grillin' and Chillin'.
Looking at Terrell Poole's hand, it appears.
So evidently, I kind of looked down there. I guess it hit Burke first, and then it hit Poole.
Yes, it seems to have done more damage to Poole. Taking a ricochet ball off the hand, that just never feels good. Really doesn't feel good to get hit by a baseball in any respect, but especially off the fingers. It's not the warmest night here in St. Augustine. But
Magic bullet theory?
I imagine Poole will be given a nice little ovation here as he gets back behind the dish.
And the ball paused in midair, mind you.
John Jordan, RSID, throwing out the magic bullet theory. Tyler Keith is the batter, back to Bureau Baseball.
2 home runs on the season would be a good time for his 3rd. Push the Saints back within 4 runs.
Yeah, make this interesting. Make Georgia Southwestern use some of these arms. They've got another guy warming up in their pen. So I think the goal at this point, of course, would be to come back and win the game, but a long odds of that. But short of that, win tomorrow and salvage 1 game from this series.
Oh.
That ball yanked to the backstop.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah. So now we will have a pitching change, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. A tough inning for Jacoviak. sent Burke to second base. What's that? Oh, it was? Okay, so he was just relaxing.
It's a strange
Or
favorite
getting
player.
coached up or whatever the hell he wants to.
Favorite player, Julio Urias.
Who?
Favorite player is Urias.
The new pitcher is Mike Mondui, number 20. He is the fourth pitcher of the night. So after McCullum went so deep in the game and was so impressive, the bullpen has been shaky. Let's see, Mondui making his 14th appearance. He's 0-2, 7.58 ERA.
His favorite TV show is Prison Break.
Okay. Lots of crime dramas maybe streamed tonight in the hotel.
Favorite movie's The Town, as there's another walk.
So Keith is aboard. Mondui came in at the 2-0 count, and Keith works the walk. So the bases are now loaded for Donovan Garcia.
Making the Saints making the Hurricanes sweat a little here. They can get some timely hitting from Garcia, who's hit the ball well as of late. Fitzgerald's going to come into pinch run here.
Yeah, Bryce Fitzgerald at first, running for Tyler Keith.
Fitzgerald got the start last night out in left field for the suspended Ashton Thomas. Played a solid outfield, couldn't get a hit on the day. However, the glove was there for him, and so is the speed.
First pitch to Garcia is outside. He's 2 for 3 today. A single, a double, and a run scored. All conference a year ago. Let's see if he can flash that same type of skill and ability. There's a strike.
Playing game, man. It's already playoffs. Playoffs?
I know. Fast.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Once sat and watched an NBA game its entirety. That is a fact. I don't know if I've ever watched an NBA game. And that includes going to an NBA game.
Well, something's wrong with you, sir.
2-2 stays outside. Mondui looks like he's got some velocity in that fastball.
Oh yeah, he's there's definitely been an uptick in velocity from the prior two relievers, and even McCullum as well was no slouch. But
Line drive to center field, but right at Foster. That'll score the first run of the game as Wellborn tags and scores. It's 10-4.
Unfortunate for Garcia, and that's just how this game's gone for the Saints thus far. They're hitting the ball hard at points, but it's just not getting really any luck out on the base or on the field.
Here's Trey Newland, who's 1 for 4 with a run. Beat out an infield single his last time up.
There's a huge gap in between the second baseman and first baseman here. If Newland can just poke something with any bit of speed on it, he can get it through that gap and should be able to score maybe a run. Nothing else, just load the bases up and move the lineup along.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Trey Newland. That one in the dirt. Good job by Sutton to block it.
It's been taking a beating behind the plate.
Yeah, he's done a nice job today. Two 1 pitch. Catches the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You would think Sutton tomorrow would, after his 3-hit day, would
get the start.
Asked to DH, though.
Yeah, you get the start at DH because I imagine they put Wozniak back. We'll see how it plays out tomorrow. But, yeah, he's having a great day with the bat, which must feel good for him. Just being a sophomore, coming in, not getting quite a lot of at-bats this year, only 53 coming into today. He upped his average, 40-something points?
Right. 43, I think it is, if my math was right. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Outside, and the bases are loaded. So things getting a little more interesting. Mason Gray is the batter. He has a couple of hits today.
Going to get another pitching change.
And we'll step aside, tell you about the 5th pitcher of the game for Georgia Southwestern when we come back. It feels like it.
Yeah, they have a kid who was warming up yesterday, didn't come into the game. He's got a couple of saves.
Well, 34 has 5 saves. That would make sense. But thank you. Brant Sundin. The next guy could.
Looks like he has one blown save opportunity.
Second here. 35. Geez, it looks like he's about 45. Look at him.
Yeah, that's it. It's a grown man. It's only a red shirt.
So Georgia Southwestern brings in Brant Sundin, their closer, who has 5 saves on the year. They don't want to mess around here with the Saints with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 9th. Brant Sundin, a 6'3", 253-pound left-hander, a transfer from Florida Gulf Coast.
Redshirt sophomore, 27 and 2/3 innings of work, only a 1.95 ERA. A couple of saves on the year, 23 strikeouts.
And dealing with Mason Gray, who's been on base 3 times today. Saints with the run in so far. A lot more work to do. 0-2. Seems like Sundin has gone off speed, at least the first pitch, if not the first 2. You thought a big guy like this would just come in and throw heat.
That's usually what. Maybe he's working on something here. Not the biggest pressure situation. Now, obviously, you have the bases loaded, 1 out, but not the hugest pressure with the lead that he has. It looks like that. Who did that hit?
It hit the umpire. The catcher can't find it. Burt comes in to score. It's 10-5, and now Terrell Poole is starting to take a beating. Somehow Sutton avoided the contact on that one, but a trainer coming out again to Terrell Poole.
It hit
It hit Gray.
hit off his knee.
Oh, no.
So that's the second one in the inning.
Yeah.
Matthew Burke was hit by a pitch, and then Poole got the ricochet. Now Gray is hit by a pitch, and Poole again takes the ricochet.
I can't believe it. It just seems like Georgia Southwestern isn't appreciating the umpires during Umpire Appreciation Week.
Oh, my goodness.
That one was hard. We were just talking about how he'd gone off speed the first two. That one was definitely not off speed. And right off the knee, it appears, for Terrell Poole. Hope he's okay, because he's still down in a bit of pain.
Like to thank some of the supporters of Flagler Athletics. Noah Bailey Group, proud supporter of Flagler College Sports. 93 King Street, the smallest hotel in the ancient city. Jersey Mike Subs, a sub above.
Looks like they're going to call Mason Gray back to the batter's box. Appears it did not hit him. I imagine if it did hit him, he would have immediately went. He took a bit of a pause, maybe thought he could sneak a fast one by this umpire crew while they tended to their downed colleague. But they call him back nonetheless.
So the count is 1-2 to Gray. And that's a balk. So the run scores. Fitzgerald comes in. And it's 10-6, and now the umpires are going to come together. Don't tell me they're going to reverse this call.
I don't think that is a balk. Well, because he just stepped off. He just stepped off with his back foot, which is completely legal. The fake throw doesn't really impact anything. It's not like he came into his windup and then leaned over to make the throw to first. That would be a balk. But him just stepping off with his foot on the rubber, yeah, they're going to call this back if they make the right call here. Yeah.
So Fitzgerald will come back out of the dugout, go back to third base. Newland returns to second.
Felt like Gene Steratore, the NFL rules analyst for a second there.
Yeah, they're very good analysis. I think you got it right. We'll see if Dave Barnett agrees.
I think we can give Poole the benefit of the doubt. He's been beaten up quite a bit this inning.
Meanwhile, Sundin playing catch with the third baseman, and the third baseman doesn't look real comfortable catching.
No. He's throwing some heat. He doesn't even look like he's trying. With such a big body like that, he has what we call easy cheese. Just doesn't really look like he's throwing all that hard. Not a very violent delivery, but he has so much raw strength and power behind each throw that gets a lot of life on that fastball, a lot of hair on the fastball.
You have to change it in the inning, or?
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And a confusing last, 10 minutes of action. Really not a lot of pitches have gone through.
It really has been. This ball lifted to left center. Coming in is Ragsdale. He'll make the catch. Fitzgerald tags and bluffs. And now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth.
Got quite a bit of Georgia Southwestern fans in the stands here.
That brings up John Fiorenza, who surprisingly is 0 for 4, the PBC Player of the Week. We had the huge week last week in 4 games, including the 3 on the road at Lander.
Through no fault of his own either. He hit the ball very hard in his last at bat. Just that's the way baseball goes sometimes. Don't get the luck behind the. Sometimes better be lucky than good.
Just making sure. It's 10-5.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's a crappy score, man.
Hey,
Here's the 2-0.
take away runs. What do I hit?
Two balls and a strike to Fiorenza. 10-5 game here in the ninth.
Okay, and then home score. Yeah.
Ground ball to short. This should do it.
But then when I
And Georgia Southwestern wins by a final of 10-5. 10 runs on 14 hits and no errors. 5 runs on 8 hits and no errors for the Saints. So Georgia Southwestern improves to 17-21 overall, 12-8 in the conference. They take over sole possession of 4th place, pending some other action around the conference. Flagler falls to 11-9 in the Peach Belt. They may drop as far as 6th in the league after
They're now
this
6th
one.
in the league after this one with the sweep of Claflin by Georgia College.
Your thoughts on the game today? A lot of McCullum and then a lot of extra base hits.
Yeah, it's tough for the Saints because they generally pitched well. You just had 2 disaster innings where the long ball and just hard hit balls killed them. But they look to get a win tomorrow, climb back. You just want to stay. Can't keep going on losing streaks here. You just got to stay. Definitely got to get the game tomorrow. That's key for the Saints. You can't lose 3 straight to the Hurricanes. And you have the best guy on the mound to do it in your ace.
Yeah. Gage Voorhees coming back tomorrow, back from an illness, and hopefully he can be the stopper for the Saints. The winning pitcher is Nick McCullum. He improves to 4-3 on the year. The loser, Gabriel Partridge, he drops to 3-4. The final again, 10-5. Georgia Southwestern wins it. They win the series. The last game tomorrow at 1 o'clock here on the PBC Network. Thanks for watching, everyone. For Jordan Fauci and